To be financially literate, it's important to know how to sign documents and understand powers of attorney. Let's see why. So, how's signing a document related to financial literacy? A signature can create legal and financial commitments. Examples are signing an employment contract, getting married, buying a house, founding a company, etc. Most documents are between two parties. A party refers to a person or a company. Anyone signing must be authorized to do so. This means that it should be in a legal position to sign. For example, your neighbor cannot enter into an agreement to sell your house because it doesn't belong to him, so he or she has no authority to sell it. Such an agreement would be invalid and totally worthless. There are different ways of signing documents. For simple documents, say signing up for a mobile phone contract or buying some furniture, you can sign alone. For more important documents, you may need to sign in front of a witness. The witness also signs and includes his or her name and address to confirm that it was you who signed. Sometimes when you're applying for a new passport, you need to get someone to witness your photo to confirm that it is a photo of you. For very important documents, like when you're buying a house, you sign in the presence of a public notary. A notary is normally a lawyer acting as a government official whose job is to witness the signing of important documents to make sure that people signing are who they say they are. They've all read the documents and understand what they're signing, and that they're signing of their free will and are not being pressured to sign. Notarizing a document is the best and strongest way of authenticating it legally. Nobody will question a document that's been signed in front of a notary. Always remember, you must keep a copy of anything you sign. Unfortunately, there are many different types of fraud involving signatures. The two most common are: one, that somebody adds something to a document you've already signed. If you did not keep a copy, it's hard to prove you did not agree to it. So, if a document has several pages, the standard procedure is to put your initials, that means the first letters of your first and family names, on top or bottom corner of each page that does not have your signature, and then keep a photocopy. Nobody can replace those pages, but if you leave the pages blank, anybody can substitute those pages with another one and pretend they have a different agreement to the one you've signed. The second common method is that somebody creates an agreement and fraudulently adds your signature. Sometimes a salesperson knocks on your door to offer a product. You say no, but then they make up an agreement and put a made-up signature for you. It's easy to cancel such agreements, especially if the signature does not look like yours. There are also cases where someone knows your signature and tries to copy it. These are harder to deal with. If you experience fraud, it's always best to use a lawyer. Now let's talk about powers of attorney. A power of attorney is a document that gives one entity the power to act on behalf of another entity. An entity can be a company or a person. If you give someone the power of attorney to do something, they can do that thing just like they were you. A power of attorney is usually given by individuals or companies to their lawyer or accountant. A standard POA may be written to offer much more power than necessary, so be careful. For example, you may give your accountant a POA to discuss your tax return with the tax authority. The POA may say that your accountant can instruct your bank to make payments from your account. There may be no reason for this, so it's safer to change the POA to only allow your accountant to discuss your tax return. So only give the necessary power and nothing more. When you're entering a POA, you have to be very careful. Always read it in detail and only sign a version that provides the exact powers you want to give. Until you're happy, there is no need to sign any POA. It is a big deal, so be very careful. Many organizations may say, "Oh, this is our standard version." This happens because the person you're dealing with does not have the authority or knowledge to change the document for you. Usually, it's harder to negotiate when you sign a POA with banks, as their documents tend to be very standardized and controlled by their legal department. Most POA can be cancelled by you at any time. Always remember that and make sure that the POA says so on it. It is considered best to never sign a POA that's hard to cancel. Now let's talk about cancelling a POA. When should a POA be cancelled? If the person who's granted the POA dies, the POA should be cancelled unless it is automatically cancelled. If a person who's granted it becomes incapacitated, i.e. cannot manage their own affairs, the POA should be cancelled. There may be some procedures to follow, but it should be possible. If the receiver of the POA has not acted in the best interest of the giver of the POA, it should be cancelled. If the receiver of the POA has acted illegally or fraudulently, it should be cancelled. If there's been any substantial change in the circumstances of the giver of the POA, it should be cancelled. Whilst the POA can be very helpful in business and private life, it should only be granted with a full understanding of its implications and the help of your lawyer if possible. Always remember when you are signing a document, read it thoroughly, then sign, and then always keep a copy.